Good morning all. Today we are going to study about discriminant analysis. So discriminant analysis is basically a technique to discriminate between two or more mutually exclusive and exhaustive group on the basis of some predictive or explanatory variables. Okay? So this is basically a technique to discriminate between various variables, and these variables should be mutually exclusive. When we form a group, that group should be mutually exclusive, means the variables containing group 1 should not be included in group 2. It should be mutually exclusive. But if we take both the groups together, so it should be mutually or completely exhaustive also. Okay, if we take both the groups together, they must contain both the variables, all the variables containing in these groups. Okay, and these groups are called as priori, and the number of groups may be more than 2, and these groups are called priori. So when the criterion variable has two category, so this technique is called as two group discriminant analysis. And when there is three or more than three categories of these groups are involved, so this technique is referred to as multiple discriminant analysis. Okay, so this discriminant analysis helps the researchers or marketers to understand how the customer differs with respect to demographic or psychographic characteristics. Okay, the discriminant analysis is also used to predict the group membership. And suppose, for example, a bank uses discriminant analysis to discriminate between the customer who who are the defaulters and who will repay the loan on time. Okay, the predictor variables may be based on their age, income, assets, and number of dependents, and the previous understanding of loans, etc. These are some of the explanatory or predictive variables the bank may consider. Okay, on the basis of these variables, he will decide, bank will discriminate between various customers, that who are the defaulters and who will be paying the loans on time. So this is basically here we have taken two categories, but in many cases in discriminant analysis, sorry, we can take more than two groups also. Okay, next, for example, we have a company that wants to determine if one of its new product basically, it's a digital camera, will be commercially successful or not. Okay, he wants to know it will be successful or not. The company wants to distinguish the purchaser and non-purchaser. The company makes a panel of 10 potential purchasers and divides the rating scales on three characters. So these characters are durability, performance, and style. The panel is asked to give the digital camera rating from 1 to 10 on three scales, on these three scales. So after the product was evaluated, they are asked their buying intentions. Okay, they would purchase or would not purchase on the basis of three characteristics. So five said that they would like to purchase the digital camera, and other five said they would not like to purchase the camera. So rating of these 10 panelists are given here. Okay, so this 10 panelist rating is given here on the basis of three characteristics: durability, performance, and style. Okay, so five person had said they would purchase the camera. Okay, 5 had said they would not purchase. So these are the ratings which is given on the from 1 to 10 scale. Okay, so for durability the group mean is 7.4, for performance the group mean is 6.8, and for third characteristic the group mean is 4. Similarly, in would not purchase group, the group mean is for 3.2, 4.4, and 3.8. Okay, the difference between the group mean 7.4 minus 3.2 is 4.2. Similarly, the difference between here second group is 2.4, that is 6.8 minus 4.4, and third is 4 minus 3.8, that is 0.2. Okay. Next, we will write the observations on variable x1, first variable. There are 10 person categorized in purchaser and non-purchaser group for first variable x1. Okay, that was durability, I guess. Durability. We will plot these two, durability and purchaser, non-purchaser. Okay, so we can see for purchaser the points are like for 1 it is 8, and for 2 it is 6, and for 3 it is 10, 4 it is 9, but for 5 it is 4. Okay, similarly we will plot for non purchaser. So we can see in the graph, if we take 5.5 randomly as a midpoint, okay, so only one point has gone below this, which, so this point 4 is called as misclassification. So if we remove this point, we can easily classify between the purchaser and non-purchaser. Okay. Next is we are taking next characteristic, that is performance, to discriminate between these two groups. So if we plot the person versus performance, so we will see that there will be 2 points, one from purchaser and one from non-purchaser, that will be identified as misclassification. Again, we are taking mean is also called the cutoff score as 5.5. So these are the two misclassifications. Okay, other if we remove these two, so we can easily classify between the purchaser and non-purchaser group. Clear? Third, we take the third parameter, that is our style x3. So if we plot now the purchaser, non-purchaser versus the style, so we will see that is there is no clear differentiation between these group based on the third characteristics. Okay, they are all are randomly oriented. Okay, so based on the three observations, we can say that the x1 was the best discriminating variable, and x3 is the poorest discriminating variable. Okay, so now we can remove the x3 variable as it is the poorest discriminating variable. So we will take or use only x1 and x2 for discrimination between the two groups. Okay, so we are now taking the x1 and x2 two variables to discriminate the groups easily. Okay, so now on the basis of these two groups, we can easily discriminate between the two groups. Okay, so these two groups are mutually exclusive. Okay, and they are also collectively exhaustive also. Okay, so there are two methods of discriminating analysis, discriminant analysis. One is called Fisher's method and another is Mahalanobis method. So both of these methods are equivalent for two group discriminant analysis, but here we will use only Fisher's method, which is based on the idea of discriminant score, which is obtained by using linear combination of explanatory variables. Okay. Next is the methodology of discriminant analysis. So here we wish to calculate the discriminant function, which is the linear combination of predicting or explanatory variables, which maximizes the difference between two groups. Okay, so the discriminant function is written in the form of z, which is equal to b1 x1 plus b2 x2 and so on bk xk, where z is our discriminant score, and this x1, x2, x3 are predictor variables or explanatory variables. Okay, and this bj is the discriminant weight corresponding to the given variable. Okay, now suppose we have n observation for each variable, so we can separately calculate the discriminant score also for each group. Okay, next what we will do, we'll calculate the lambda value here, the lambda, which is the ratio of within group of square and total group of variability. Okay, so within group of variability divided by total group of variability. So if the lambda is less than 1 or very small, so we can say that within sum of square within variability is very less than total variability. So we can say there is clear cut difference between groups. Okay, so if lambda is very less, so we can say within variability is very less than total variability. So there will be a clear cut difference between groups. And if the lambda is greater than very large, so within group variability will be very large in comparison to the total group variability, so there will be overlap. Okay, there will be no clear cut difference between the groups, there will be overlap. Okay, between the discriminant groups we found. Okay, so we will calculate lambda, and it is desired to have very small value of lambda. Okay, next here we also calculate the cutoff score of the discriminant function here, and when the discriminant score of individuals is below the cutoff score. Okay, so the individual is assigned to group 1, otherwise we'll assign it to the next group. Okay, so discriminant score, discriminant score is also required to be less than the cutoff score. Clear? Now the basic assumptions of discriminant analysis are: the cases or individuals should be independent. Okay, there should be no dependency of each variable. The predictor variable should have multivariate normal distribution. Okay, so the variables should be, that is independent variables should be normally distributed. Okay, there should be no outliers. Within group variance and covariance metrics should be equal across group, means there should be equal variance of within the group. Next, group membership is assumed to be mutually exclusive, means no case belongs to more than one group. Okay, it should be mutually exclusive. Next, a group membership should be collectively exhaustive, means all the cases are members of group. Okay, all the cases, all the groups should be members of complete group. Okay, so these are the basic assumptions of discriminant analysis. Next, the basic terminologies related to discriminant analysis. Number one is discriminant function. Okay, discriminant function is the number of functions that we are computing. Discriminant functions are basically less than number of groups in the dependent variable. So if we have two groups, so we will have one discriminant function. If we have three groups, we will have two discriminant functions. Okay, next is discriminant coefficient. Discriminant function coefficient are the partial coefficient that have the unique contribution to each variables to the classification of groups in dependent variable. Okay, next is group centroid. Group centroid are mean discriminant scores for each group in dependent variable of discriminant function. Okay, next is eigenvalue. Eigenvalue are also called as characteristic roots. So it is the ratio of the explained and unexplained variations. Okay, for the good model, the eigenvalue must be more than 1, and in discriminant analysis there is one eigenvalue for each discriminant functions. Next is Wilks lambda. In discriminant analysis, this lambda is used to test the significance of discriminant functions. So when the value of lambda for function is very small, then function is significant. Okay, so it signifies, lambda score signifies that our assumed function is significant or not. Okay, classification matrix. This classification matrix is the cross tabulation of observed and predicted memberships. For good prediction, the values in the diagonal must be high and the values of off diagonal must be close to 0. Okay, box m test the assumptions of equality of variance and covariance metrics in the group. So these are some of the terminology that are used in discriminant analysis. Next, the multiple discriminant analysis. So it is similar to the Fisher's approach. Okay, here also we maximize the ratio of among group and across group variability. So again here also we will calculate the lambda score. Okay, lambda should be very less than to have a significant effect. Okay, so this was all about discriminant analysis. So I will briefly conclude all the points of discriminant analysis. So discriminant analysis is basically a technique in which the dependent variables are categorical in nature. So we have studied one more technique where the dependent variables were categorical type, like 0 1. That was the logistic regression technique. Okay, but in logistic regression technique we have only two categories, either yes or either yes, that is one, or either no. There will be only two categories. But in discriminant analysis we have more than two categories. Okay, it will have more than two or more than three categories also. Okay, like it will have yes, yes, no, or moderately yes or moderately no type. Okay, so this is the basic difference. The marketer or researcher or the bank wants to divide the customer on the basis of certain discriminant or predictor variables. Okay, so this is the basic difference between the discriminant analysis technique and the logistic regression technique. Okay, so basically we have two techniques to differentiate between or to discriminate the variables or to categorize the variables in different categories. Okay, so this was all about discriminant analysis. Thank you.